Hey everyone, it's Mike. Before we start the episode, I have a cool question to ask. Do you own a brewery? Do your customers love trivia as much as I do? Well, then you better listen up, because Geeks Who Drink weekly trivia nights are the cornerstone of event programming for over 650 breweries and bars nationwide. Geeks Who Drink Trivia is consistently fun and low-effort way to build a community of regulars, because we all need our norms, cliffs, and all that, but we want to bring more people in as well. So you can even turn that slow weeknight into the busiest night of the week. So get started with this exclusive offer for my Taproom listeners and get your first quiz night free. Go to geekswhodrink.com/taproom and enter promo code Taproom. That's geekswhodrink.com/taproom, promo code Taproom. And now onto the episode. All right, and we're back. This is episode 66 of the Taproom Podcast, and I'm your host, Mike. It's a fun weekend so far. I'm actually going later today, in about an hour or hour and a half. I'm going down to Audiograph to record down there. So that should be pretty fun. Also going to hang out with Chew and Art. So we're good. That should be a good one. I'm excited for that. But this week's episode is with Jared Larson over at Bearded Tang. Honestly, really good dude. And I mentioned that last week, but it's just a fact. Just a really nice guy, really, fun conversation, talking about our love for craft beer, his beer journey, stuff like that. And honestly, makes some killer beer. I had the Czech Pils, or it was Czech Lager. I can't remember which one exactly, but I also had the German Pilsner, their Amber. Man, everything was just really, really good. So if you're in the area, if you're in the Stanton area and you haven't gone down there, you have to. It's a really cool spot, and they have a food hall as well. So, you can get yourself some food, get yourself some beer, have a good time. It's dog friendly. So definitely check it out. What do I got this week? My headlines, Avs lost. That was a tough one, but it happens though, just a game. What else? This is going to be a short intro because I got a bunch of stuff I got to get ready for. So I think that's all I got. I know the Nuggets were going to a game 7. You know what? I do need to, because I did do a couple questions this week. Let me get that pulled up here. Probably should have had that ready, but I did two Geeks Who Drink questions. Let's see. And the first one I did was a poll, asked about the saisons, and wild ales, if people actually like those. I do like wild ales. So 77% of the vote said yes, and 23% said no. So I guess, most people out there do like their saisons, so that's awesome. The other one was what is the world's most popular beer style. It was between ales, stouts, lagers, and hazies. 67% of the vote said, not 67%. 67 people said lagers. 20 people said ales. 15 people said stouts, and 20 people said hazies. So most people were right on that one. And the last one, this one was a good one. It was what was the most popular video game console in the 90s? Or the highest selling console, I should say. It was between the N64, the PlayStation, and the Sega Dreamcast. It was the correct answer was PlayStation. But yeah, almost double the votes went to the Nintendo 64, which, obviously was one of my favorite consoles of all time too. But yeah, it was definitely the PlayStation. So that was a good one. The Dreamcast was only got 8 votes. So yeah, most people knew. All right. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the interview. Hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, it's a great episode with Jared. I got to get ready and then get this episode out and then head out to LA to check out Audiograph. All right. Hope you guys enjoy the interview. All right, guys, we're back in the tap room, and I have a very special guest on today. I have Jared Larson of Bearded Tang Brewing over here in Stanton. How's it going today?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Glad we got to make this happen. And
yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, all my buddies have been telling me, you got to go to Bearded Tang.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I'm excited. I'm drinking your West Coast right now.
Yeah, that's our tanked IPA.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, that one's It's really solid. And it's super clean and crisp and everything.
Yeah, that one's, we usually have it on pretty fresh. I want to say every 2 weeks, it's usually a fresh batch.
Awesome.
Yeah, so once one goes on, the other one's already brewed.
Okay.
And waiting for a dry hop. So it kind of just is a seamless, thing. We never really run out of it.
That's awesome. I mean, if you got something like that, I mean, what's the ABV on it?
7%.
Oh, geez. It doesn't drink. It's drink super light.
Yeah, it's like super easy drinker, like you said, dry finish, really light malt profile on that one.
Oh, yeah. But it's got a floral punch, too, that I love.
Yeah, well, that one we put in some Mosaic, some Strata, and some Citra.
Okay.
Dry hopping, yeah.
Nice.
It's a pretty just straightforward, like, house IPA. But then again, we tweak it here and there and try to give it, like, we try to improve on it almost every time. Yeah, as soon as we can get our hands on some experimental, like, hops or something different, a variant of, you have all these hop extracts out now that we've been trying to, like, incorporate in some of these beers.
Yeah, I've even, like, seen, like, hop keef and all that sort of stuff, too. I mean, it's pretty crazy, but stuff's coming out a lot of stuff coming out right now. So it's so good.
Yeah, we're going to be messing around like a week with some hop keef on our hazy.
Okay.
Yeah, just to kind of dip our toe in it a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of doing it, and I guess we were a little late to the game.
It happens. Hey, if you're making great beer, nobody's complaining. There you go.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think we are. I think we're doing all right. Not too bad. We're still brewing.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome. And I love all the, like, it'll be in the reel, but all, like, the fishes and all that stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is only going to be up there for a little while longer. The company's rebranding that owns this.
Okay.
The owner, I should say, he wants to rebrand. We're opening another brewery down south in San Juan Capistrano.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that spot is going to be called Capo. It's going to be it's going to be like an outdoor food thing, like a food, I guess you could call it a food hall. There'll be a food hall down there, but there'll be common ground for every business to use. It'll have, like, storefronts with, like, gosh, I'm, like, totally spacing out. There'll be some food vendors inside of a food hall like this, a really small food hall. And then there'll be some, like, clothing shops, and there'll be I think a market as well.
Oh,
and
wow.
Just some other spots. And then the brewery will be standalone as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that'll be called Capo, and basically Capo Brew.
Nice.
And this will switch to Capo Brew.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have a couple other tap rooms that will be opening up in the future. But for now, it's just this one, that one opening up, and we have the spot out in Ontario called Brewhaven.
Okay.
That's inside Rodeo X.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Brewhaven.
Okay, yeah. So that's our other tap room. We feature our beers as well as we feature some guest beers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, gotta support the community.
Yeah, absolutely. For here, though, we'll always just have our house beers.
For sure.
Occasionally, like, I'd say rare, we'll have guest beers on. For now, I think that's just kind of a for now thing.
Okay.
But yeah, so as for the Bearded Tang thing, that's going to go away at some point. It's a little bittersweet, but company's going to do what it wants to do.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It happens, right?
Yeah, well, their quality is still going to stay the same. Like, we pride ourselves in making, like, really great beers. So that's not going to change at all.
Oh, yeah. It was excellent so far. I mean, that's why I said all my buddies have been telling me, you got to come down.
Nice.
So I was excited to do this.
Well, finally you made it.
Oh, yeah. So I always love to ask, like, how did you start your craft beer journey? Tell us all about it.
So I was brewing in the backyard with some friends. My friends, their brothers, Ryan and Kirk, and in their backyard in Lakewood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And was going over there and brewing on the weekends and helping out. Wasn't really, like, doing my own brews, just kind of helping them. And then I went back to the homebrew shop one day and bought a bunch of equipment, brought it home, and it just kind of evolved. Just kept going to their brew days and then having my own brew days.
Yeah.
And, a couple years later, I have thousands of dollars worth of equipment in my garage. And
there you go.
And then fast forward a little bit to heading over to Tustin Brewing Company on the weekends and met the brewer there. For some reason, he was working on Sundays, and met him there. And and then just started talking to him and asking him about my homebrew and how to improve it. And we just hit it off as friends. And so he's the owner of Smog City Brewing now.
Oh,
so he was the brewer there years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that's John Porter. And
sweet name for a brewer.
I know, right? So he likes to be called Porter.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, eventually it just kept coming in, and he invited me to a brew day, and it's like, I'll help you with your home brew, however, to make it better. Just come and hang out. And started hanging out, and And I would go there a lot because this was like right around the time where the economy was kind of crashing, 2009-ish.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And so I started hanging out, and then months went by, and he's like, do you think you might want to be the brewer here? And I'm like, really? Like, okay. Like, I still have my job, even though it's slowing down because the economy was taking a turn. And he just come in whenever you can. So it came in and just helping out wherever I could, and for free, of course. And then it just evolved into like me taking over the head brewer spot when he moved out and started Smog City up in Torrance.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I had a nice 10-year stint there, and and it was a great spot to work, and I definitely miss it. It's actually like a home. It's like my home, I can go there and everyone's just like welcome me with open arms.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I eventually got tapped to do this job. The brewer that got this going was John Chiasano used to be at Taps Fish House.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he invited me over to work here with him, and, 4 years later, he ended up moving on. He's still kind of a little bit of a part of it now, even though he moved to Wisconsin. So I'm basically the head brewer here, and I have a team of brewers. Well, obviously, I told you earlier one was leaving.
Yeah.
But so it's just right now it's just me and Kyle Coltrane. He's the assistant brewer here. And
okay.
So yeah. This is a great spot to work. I try to keep the work environment here fun, and we have a good time, even though we do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool is that, though? I mean, like you mentioned, John Porter, like how great is the craft beer community?
Oh yeah. I mean, you could talk about, gosh, I've had so many like people that I've asked for help and mentor. You could say mentors, so to speak, that along the way that's helped me out. Not just John Porter, but other guys, Victor Novak, Kyle Mans. I know I'm leaving people out. Rick Smets.
Okay. Oh yeah, I love Rick.
Yeah, we can go way back. We can go to, the guys up at Ritual, the owner of Ritual. His name is just slowly slipping my mind. Those guys have always just been really nice to me.
Yeah.
Over the years. I'm talking like Bob Kluver from Main Street. These are some like older brewers that's been like, they're just veterans, that kind of just been there and done it. And so they're people that you have kind of helped me along the way with tips and tricks and advice to kind of like give me my own path of creating my own style for brewing,
Yeah.
And then I came here, and that's like they brought along the Taps way, guys like John Chiasano, who was the brewer here before me, and then Kyle Mans and Dave Hulls. Those guys had a big part in the lager scene back when they were brewing at Taps. And so when I came here, it was like, okay, my lager game is not what it was when I was at Tustin. It was just IPAs and hop forward beers, which is fine. I came here, and all we talked about was lagers and water profiles, and like just taking my brewing skills to like a whole different level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So everything here is RO focused. We start with the RO water, and we build our water profile up from there, whether it's lagers, ales. That's just kind of my way of doing it now.
Yeah.
So
what's your favorite style to drink?
I'm drinking it right now. German Pilsner.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with a Pils.
This is my desert island beer. It's kind of like, I used to be a big hop head. I still like IPAs, and there's a time and place for IPAs for me, but like easy drinking beers.
Oh yeah.
Is going to be for me something with flavor and easy to drink, which is our German Pilsner. That's my beer here for sure that I like to drink.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I always like, it's usually when I go to a place, I'll either order two things. It's either a West Coast or their Pilsner, because I know if their Pilsner is good, the rest of their beers are going to be phenomenal.
Right.
Usually.
Yeah. I'm kind of judgy like that too, for sure.
Yeah.
But obviously there's a lot of great West Coast IPAs around town, and we try to make the best IPA we can here, because there's a lot of other breweries making really great ones too. So it's like, but my focus as a brewer is just try to make all the beers great. And I slightly favor making lagers.
Yeah.
Pilsners. That's just the kind of beers I want to drink.
Yeah. And you can't hide behind anything.
No, not at all. Not at all. Like, even it comes down to like just water and bitterness and dryness. And that's just one of the things that I notice on our beers. If some of them are kind of off a little bit, I want to, we sit and we talk about it over the beer, and like, hey, maybe we should back off on this or add some of that. And I definitely lean on my brewers too, to have their input in it.
Yeah.
And not just say like, this is how it is. Like, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
And, it's not like it's just what I say goes. Like these guys are out there drinking the beers and, out there and trying beers at different breweries. And I value everyone's opinion.
For sure.
So we try to get everyone involved here for sure.
Yeah, especially with being a part of the team. It's all about the collaboration and making sure that you're putting out the best product possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like I love. I mean, people are probably sick and tired of me saying it on the show, but like I love the brewer's mentality because it's never good. You could have a gold medal winning beer, but you can be like, yeah, but I could probably change something, or I can probably make it a little better. It's always that it's never enough.
We do that here for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had a couple beers here that we've tweaked, even though we've won a medal or two for them. And it's just constantly like, how can we do this? What can we do with that? Or a judge's note might say one thing and it just kind of gets stuck in your head. Like,
yeah,
that's not how that beer is, but maybe it is. Like,
yeah,
maybe we should try to fix that. Or then sometimes we're just like, that's not accurate. Like the beer's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. You need a refill, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm always up for another one. We might have to try that Pilsner.
Yeah, we have that. We also have a 10-degree Czech lager. That one's 3.7%, big flavor, easy drinker. I kind of dance between those two beers when I'm drinking our beers here. But we could, whatever you want to do.
I could do one of each.
Okay,
if that works for you.
I have an extra glass, so I can get you two of them.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, hang on, man. I'll go grab those.
Yeah, and we're back. So I have the Czech lager and the German Pilsner. Yeah, which one are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking the Czech. This is called T-10 degrees.
I love it. All right. Cheers.
10-degree Czech lager. Cheers.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah, so this one's low ABV, 3.7.
But there's that robust kind of flavor. That's really good.
Yeah, nice malt on it. We use a Czech yeast, and we use Czech Saaz hops as well. So big flavor. You got a nice balance of hops and malt. And really sessionable.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, 3.7, you can pound those all day.
Yeah, it's like anywhere between 3.7 to 3.9, but usually it's right around 3.7.
Okay.
It's a nice drinking beer. And it kind of like, I think people at the tap room kind of just breeze right by it because the ABV, but like really it's just such a flavorful beer for such a low ABV. But yeah, I mean, popularity of it is not as much as we'd want, but
yeah.
It's definitely one there, and when people discover it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is like really good. How did I miss this?"
Yeah.
But yeah, but then it also competes with the one next to that you have over there, the German Pils.
Oh yeah,
this one's kind of like not as popular as that one. That one's more of a popular beer here, the German Pilsner. But we'll get to that one in a minute.
Yeah, for sure. I did want to ask you because it meant going back to the home brewing.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first one you brewed like on your own?
I made like I think it was like a honey wheat.
Okay.
And it was from a kit and it was horrible.
Was it like one of those Mr. Beer kits? Or?
No,
I had one of those when I was a kid. Well, I shouldn't say I was a kid, but
I think I might have had one of those too. But no, when I brewed that, it was a kit from like a homebrew shop.
Oh, okay.
I think I actually might have bought that on like morebeer.com.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, easy drinking beer. If I can make it good, maybe my wife will actually drink it with me. And it was a disaster. The carboy exploded I had like this like makeshift fermenting like refrigerator. I had temperature control on it so I could keep it at 66 or 68 degrees.
Yeah.
And all I had was just a bung with the bubbler on it, the airlock on it. And it just exploded inside my refrigerator.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess the yeast that I had put in it was just like I did a yeast starter on it and it just exploded everywhere. It was a huge mess.
Jeez.
Yeah, so got that cleaned up and it was discouraging for sure. But then I started making other beers and they started coming out, I would say, just decent and mostly under attenuated, mostly just yeast health issues and probably under pitching and just low quality, yeast viability but that's homebrewing and
yeah.
And I can't really say I made a lot of great homebrew. It was definitely discouraging in the beginning. And then once I started, going over to the homebrew shop and to the Tustin Brewery, actually. And I think between getting advice from both homebrew shop and John Porter and obviously my homebrew buddies back in Lakewood, those guys all kind of helped me just kind of slowly make better beer. And I was making decent pale ales and
nice
and IPAs. And then it just started evolving into like, hey, I want to just come and brew at Tustin Brewing Company because he's letting me come in and hang out. And I just kind of stopped homebrewing and just started going to the brewery. And then obviously I told you earlier, like I just was able to take over that spot as the head brewer, and just a complete deer in the headlights, and following the recipes as I was brewing them when he was there. And then when he moved on, I'd say it was about 9 months of a time frame where he was there while he was working on his Smog City project, and I was brewing the beers for both Tustin Brewing Company and Smog City.
It
was definitely a crash course.
Yeah.
But like being left alone was very like, gosh.
Yeah. So come to Jesus moment.
Here we go. Like let's just stay on, the playbook and not veer off. And I would say it took me about 4 months to really just kind of take the training wheels off.
Yeah.
And go, not really rogue, but like start experimenting. And maybe some of the beers that we had brewed together, maybe if I did this to them, it would probably give me the flavor that maybe I wanted. And just started experimenting like that with like previous recipes and tweaking them and making them my own, kind of like with any homebrew recipe you would have made when you're brewing at home. Like now I want to make this recipe mine, and that's kind of what I was doing at Tustin.
That's so cool though. And even like, you said brewing for essentially for Tustin and for Smog City. So it was like essentially you were brewing the initial beers that were going to be,
sure. Yeah. City. I mean, with the close eye of
of course,
John Porter, but it was definitely like a good experience. Just like I said, a crash course.
Yeah.
And
baptism by fire,
dude. Yeah, it was nuts. I think I was working about 7 days a week for probably like a good year.
Wow.
Anywhere between 7-8 months to a year. It was a lot.
I bet.
But I wanted it so bad at that point. Like I was willing to turn my back on my previous career, which was already kind of going in the toilet from the economy.
Yeah.
And and it's my whole thing was like, okay, this is beer, this is alcohol. It's never gonna like. It's recession proof.
Yeah, even when they tried to ban it, people still made it.
Yeah.
So
So I think it kind of worked out. I put all that time in over there, and then I got the spot. Like, who gets a head brewer spot as a shitty home brewer? It was just kind of a very weird coincidence.
That's so cool, man. And especially like going back to, you said like to 2008, 2009, when you started homebrewing. That was really when the craft beer was in its infancy. Like, still, like obviously it's exploded over the last like 15 years, but like initially, like you had to like drive a while or really far, and like sometimes you would find a local liquor store that might have something, but then it's probably out of code because it took so long to get here. It
was like, I remember just like Stone would do these like really fun like collab releases with just random like San Diego breweries or just breweries from all around the country, and they would do these collabs, and you'd read about them, and like, okay, I'm going to go down and pick a bottle up at back then it was Bevmo. Yeah. So that was like, I don't know, 2008, 9, 10. I think those vertical epics were coming out every year from Stone. I think that Stone back then was kind of like that was my jam. They had the IPAs and they had these fun one-offs, and
the double bastards and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, I wasn't a huge arrogant double bastard guy.
Same.
But I liked their stouts and their IPAs and their anniversary IPAs, and they would do these fun collabs with like even homebrewers. They'd have their homebrew release, like I think it was like every May or June.
Yeah,
they would have their homebrew rally, and they would release these beers that they would brew with the homebrewers, whoever won. And they were just like, you'd look forward to those as a homebrewer, and you'd get these and that, and like you got like. Gosh, what was the other ones? There was Port Brewing was doing some fun stuff. Lost Abbey.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah. Those were the kind of beers that that were kind of like popular back then.
Yeah.
Especially some of those port beers were good. Those Santa's Helpers, Older Viscosity, and those kind of like big stouts. I think that's kind of the beers that me and my group of friends were into back then. Just the brewery was like kind of coming up too. I think shortly after that, or right around that time, but they were making some good barrel-aged beers too.
Yeah. Do you remember your first craft beer? That like the one that made you like, oh damn, this is what beer could be?
Yeah. So there's this bar in Long Beach called Joe Jost, and I was drinking underage there, Widmer Hefeweizen.
Oh yeah.
And I just thought I was so badass drinking Widmer beer with a lemon in it. Yeah. And then it went to like Sierra Nevada. There was a place called the Reno Room in Long Beach that we were drinking Sierra Nevada. I think it was a Sierra Nevada Pale or IPA. I don't even remember. I just remember it was really bitter, and we got really fucked up on it.
Yeah. And back then, not back then, but like if, especially like we were so accustomed to like the lighter beers, obviously in America and stuff like that. But then when you had something like it probably was like, I remember when the first time I had a Double Bastard, I was drunk off one big one. I was like, I'm out. Like,
that was like I want to say like the Sierra Nevada time was, I was probably like right out of high school, like 19.
Yeah.
The Widmer ones were like 16, 17. We had fake IDs and we were getting into Joe Jost. But yeah, and then obviously Sam Adams had their random releases all the time. And it was just kind of like the only thing that we can get our hands on.
Yeah. I always feel like they forget that Sam Adams still is technically craft beer. It is craft beer because it's still all family owned. But like, all my buddies are like, oh, isn't that like, I was like, yeah, no, technically they're independent.
Yeah.
But people's like, because they see them so often in grocery stores, they think they sold out. I was like, no, they're still independent.
Yeah, we would sit in my friend's backyard and people would come over and like, oh, I got the new Sam Adams cream stout.
Oh yeah,
I got the cherry lambic, and everybody's like, oh man, I haven't had that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun times for sure. Like, and obviously trying new stuff and figuring out what you like and what you don't like, and obviously IPAs back then, like everyone's just like, oh, this is so bitter. And like think we all kind of acted like we liked it, but I'm not sure everyone really liked it right away.
Oh yeah,
it was just kind of like everyone was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. The first beer I ever had was the Double Bastard, and like that was
gosh.
like, that wasn't a good introductory thing for me. But eventually, like, because then it was like with my old roommates, we always had 2 kegs on tap in we called it our smoke room, so we would just smoke cigarettes and drink beer in there.
Yeah,
it was like this, I guess, like the 70s or 80s in there, kind of. But there was always Stone IPA and Pabst, so completely, polar opposites, but.
Like one to hydrate and one to get drunk.
Pretty much, yeah. We would have toga parties and all that stuff. So we were always drinking like the regular Stone IPA, and that was the one that kind of got me. But Sierra Nevada too, like, and it's crazy. Like, it feels like every brewer I talk to, it's always like it's always Sierra Nevada, like the one that really did it for them.
Yeah, that for sure.
I think that's cool because like it just shows the impact that they've had on the industry.
Yeah,
and. Isn't it crazy? Like, I think the owner said, he's like, if I was able to can, I would have canned, but he's all to buy a canning line. It would have cost me like so many millions of dollars because the only ones that they could buy were like the Coke size ones.
And meanwhile, that guy's probably putting the best cans out. Like when you're talking about like shelf life.
Oh yeah.
Like you could buy a 6-month-old 6-pack and it tastes perfect.
Yeah.
It's like still super fresh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Sierra Nevada, it's always, it's crazy how like they've been able to, and I'm sure like we mentioned earlier, how the recipe can still change through the years and you can make things better. I'm sure it didn't taste the same when they first put it out or compared to what it is now. Yeah. But it's still freaking great.
But everybody's palate changes too. So whether it's the drinker or the brewer itself, sure, the recipe's probably changing, but his palate's changing too, as well as ours. Like you could talk about a beer from 10 years ago right now and be like, oh my God, this beer was so good. I can't get a hold of it anymore. And then you find it or you go to the source and it's just completely different and it's just not as memorable as it was, before you had it again. And it's like that with food even too,
Yeah.
But
it's kind of like how you don't like things as a kid, but then as you get older,
sure,
it's like the sushi thing, or for me, it was salmon. For whatever reason, as a kid, I hated salmon, but I love it now.
I think most kids don't like seafood.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did want to talk more about Bearded Tang, because, you guys won medals and all that sort of stuff. So when did it all start for Bearded Tang?
So they were working on this project. So I got, let me stop for a second. Yeah. I got hired on in September 2020. And I believe they were working on this project from 2019, like early. I want to say it was about a year and a half build out. I could be off a little bit on that, but I came on in September and that's when I think we opened like a month later, or we were just opening, right? And so a guy named Brandon Smith is the one that came up with the concept and was able to work with a group of people that helped finance it as well and their ownership as well. And Jonathan Chiasano from Taps was working over at the production facility in Tustin before it closed. Like this was way before it closed down.
Oh, okay.
This was when it was OG taps, the Kyle Manns and John Chisano and Dave Alls. He was actually out at the Corona one before that. And was brought over to the Tustin one, and then he got approached to come and work for this company. And he came out here and commissioned all the tanks and got everything going. And I want to say it was about June-ish when they tapped me on the shoulders and said, hey, why don't you come over to Bearded Tang with us, and, you know, made me an offer. And I initially turned it down because I was kind of comfortable where I was at Tustin Brewing Company. And then the pandemic, obviously, we just opened back up when I had turned it down. And then, no, I think I turned it down before the pandemic. And then when we opened back up, he asked me one more time. And that's when I said yes.
Okay.
And then when I said yes, and it was like, all right, I'm going to give this place 2 months. And gave him 2 months. And September came and I was here, and I haven't looked back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. I was looking forward to like having a change in approach in brewing, and you know, I wasn't doing like RO water over there, and a lot of lager brewing.
Yeah.
So got that going here, and it was John and I for a good, I don't know, 6-8 months, and then things were starting to progress and growing, and we brought in a driver to help deliver to a couple spots that we were selling beer to, and obviously our own tap room out in Ontario, but and then training that person to be a brewer as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. And do you guys sell cans?
We used to, and then we stopped about 8-10 months ago because of the rebrand. But the rebrand's been kind of a delay due to our build out down south just taking a little longer than expected. So once all that is finished up, I think the rebrand's going to happen, and then we'll go back into canning at some point.
Okay.
It'll probably just be the core beers for starters, and then, just to kind of get a feel for how the schedule is going to work, and then eventually we'll do some one-offs and whatnot.
That's awesome.
I'm just kind of like, as we go, I'm just seeing what happens, and I can't make any big promises on canning. I'm hoping that we have our own canning line and able to do all that. Everyone loves cans.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, and even like can artwork, it's so, it's so important,
Yeah. If you look on that door over there, when we're done here, there's some of our original canning labels. There's some on that pole right there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love the stickers.
Yeah. Those are our labels from back when we were canning. And then, like I said, it just kind of came to a halt just because of rebranding and whatnot. But like I said, it's just, everything's just been kind of put on hold.
Okay. I was asked like what was the worst brew day you've ever had? I've heard the worst homebrew brew day. Have you had had a really bad brew day?
Maybe at Tustin I had one when I was having some back trouble, and I was like, you know what? I'm usually if I'm in pain or I'm like hurt and I'm not feeling great, I still kind of press through a brew day. At least I could say that about when I was at Tustin, because I was alone there. I didn't have an assistant or anything. So when it came down to just doing it, I just did it, and it just, maybe pop an Advil and just plow through it. But there was a day where I was having some crazy back spasms, and it was a big brew, and I got mashed in, and like I literally couldn't move my back because it was just constant spasming. So I hopped on social media and threw a post out like, hey, whoever wants to come and help me brew and grain out, I'll buy you lunch and beers. And I got a bunch of people hit me back. And
that's awesome.
And I had my friend come out, and he his name's Carlos. He works over at Bootleggers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he came and helped out, grained me out, and was just super helpful. I got him, beers and lunch, and it wasn't that it was a horrible day. It was just the most miserable feeling, just having to do the labor. But I got through it, and I think I was 2 Advil in, a Vicodin in, and I don't know, 3 beers, super irresponsible. But all I had to do was make sure I knocked out, and then I just rinsed everything after the brew. And then I came in the next morning when I went to the chiropractor in the morning. Yeah. And then I came in the next morning and I CIP'd everything thoroughly, because it's I just couldn't do shit after I got mashed in. I was dying.
Oh, I bet you're exhausted.
Yeah, it was just, it was when the pain's there, but you've numbed it with Advil, whatever the hell you're taking, but it's there because you're just sweating bullets. Yeah. But so I would say that was probably the worst brew day, when it comes to like technical issues, I would say just having a stuck mash and then not being able to run off, and then you have to open the manway up, get all the grain out, get all the grain out, and you have all that liquid sitting in there. That's the worst.
Yeah.
You can't get the liquid out of the mash tun into the kettle. It's a lost brew. I've only had one of those, but that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Not to mention just the cleanup, but like the cost of it as well, and having to explain that to ownership. Like, hey, like it just mashed in $1,000 worth of ingredients. Like we had to dump it.
Yeah.
So we haven't had to do that here, but I've had that at Tustin happen. Other than that, yeah, I don't really know. Like everything's been I don't even want to say it. Everything's been good.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
I don't even have any wood behind. I mean, it's over there.
Yeah.
But no, it's I don't know. Like I said, it's like that. How bad can it really be? You know, I have pretty much every tool I need here to make the brew day go smooth. And, yeah, I mean, I think we had one shitty beer here that we had to dump. We've only dumped one beer, and I don't like to ever admit that.
Yeah.
But since it's only one, then it's easy to admit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, out of all the ones you've probably done already, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Have we had a couple of shitty ones here and there?
Yeah.
Like not shitty, but like, I don't know, like one's like, all right, I want this beer to go away. Let's not promote it.
It's like, hey, what is it? 99% of the time, you're golden.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I don't think I have any more bad brew days though. I'm sure the other brewers that work here would probably say a few good ones, but yeah.
No, but I mean, that, one of the things that like I always like to like, I mean, I like to like hear, like, especially when I'm talking to a brewer, like is like you can tell like how much they care about the product and like and what like the heart and soul and the care that goes into like like a brew day or anything like just wanting to make sure that someone's out there or whoever's out there is enjoying what they made. And I'm sure that that's like probably so gratifying for you.
Yeah, the thing at this place is like I'm kind of separate from the bar, so I'd actually have to make an effort to go up there and talk to people. Where at Tustin, it's right up in your face. I don't know if you've ever been there.
No, I've never been.
Those customers are right there. It's literally like I'm on the brew side and you're where you're sitting as a customer, and they'll talk to you about the beer.
Yeah,
and it's very like they can be critical sometimes, and it's nice feedback because it's like, okay, well maybe it is tasting like that.
Yeah.
Then you taste it, it's like I'll have to change that or I'll have to tweak that. Like, but then again, it's like these comments get in your head, and it could easily get the best of you, or you just brush it off and like
that German Pilsner's phenomenal.
Dude, it's my favorite beer we make.
It's so good.
Excuse me, sorry.
Whenever you guys make cans, after the rebrand,
dude, I remember when we would can that one, I would grab like multiple 4-packs and take them home. It's so good.
Yeah, no, it's delicious. And Bearded Tang, they won quite a few medals.
Yeah, I think we have one World Beer Cup. We have 3 Great Americans, and those are all those ones hanging there. Those are all the state ones.
Okay. Oh, like the California Brewers Cup?
Yeah, and then we have the trophy, the Best to Show Trophy Cup out front in the case.
Okay. Gonna have to get some videos of that.
Yeah, dude, for sure. It's on the very end when you walk out there. There's like a brand new bar we're putting over here. If you look across the way, that bar is going to come on this side.
Okay.
But yeah, it's in that case displayed with the medals as well. But yeah, we haven't really been batting too good at the competitions of this last couple ones. So I don't know. It just hasn't been our years this last couple.
Well, I mean, there's so many different breweries out there. I mean, it's tough to to do it, but I mean, this thing's got to win something soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like we're putting great beer out, but it's competition, it's crapshoot, and like I said, we're doing the best that we can, and it's just for me, it's all about making great beer.
Oh yeah.
And if we cross the finish line, we do. Then, and if we don't, let's just keep at it and see what happens.
Yeah, got to keep pushing forward.
Yep. Yeah.
You know it. And you guys said you guys gonna be brewing a hazy soon?
We do brew hazy. It's just not available right now. We did run out of that one, and I think it'll be ready in about a week and a half.
Okay.
That one we're gonna have some hop keef in that we got. Oh shit.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, we got some hop keef going in that one. This is like the first time I think we've used it. So that one's I think about a week and a half out. Yeah, you should come back by if you're a hazy guy.
Oh, I do enjoy a hazy, but these are my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Well,
But I'll definitely come down and have one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have that. We usually have like a dark lager, or actually right now we have an amber lager. It's our Mexican style amber lager.
Nice. You don't really see amber lagers very often anymore.
Yeah, we had a company approach us about making an amber lager for them, and so we did it. And it's not typically something that we always make.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm thinking about darkening it up a little more and just really kind of like dumbing down the recipe, so to speak, and not making it so complex, and just kind of making it more of a easier drinker, not so much flavor, and and just kind of make it more like what it should be. Because we initially made it just kind of like full of flavor and low ABV. Like I like big flavor, low ABV beers, and it was, I think it's a little over the top with the flavor. It's really good, don't get me wrong, but I think it's just, we're going to kind of tone it back on the next run if we make it again.
Okay.
I'm more of like looking to make a Schwartz beer again, or American dark lager, or maybe even like a Munich Dunkel or something.
Yeah. Dang, that'll be all sound good.
Those are the kind of beers that I want to make. Like I said, Mexican lagers are fine, but like I kind of want to get into some more of the German style lagers again. We used to have at least, I think, 6 to 7 lagers on at one time, and then we were asked to like slow down a little bit and just kind of tighten the tap list up to about 10 to 12 beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at our peak we were at like 22 beers at one time.
Wow.
And that was just turning and burning around here, just making what do you want to make next? We'll make this, we'll make that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had I want to say we had about 7 or 8 German beers on at one time.
Wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't even like Oktoberfest. We just had them on.
That's awesome. Because you don't see that as often anymore. Like you don't see like even like, I mean, I talk about this a lot too, but like reds, blacks, you just don't see that stuff on menus. I feel like they're coming back a little, especially I feel like you are seeing a lot more pilsners and lagers on menus too, but you just don't see it as often.
No, especially around here. Like you could go to maybe a different state and you'll find that one brewery or tap room that has a lot of these beers that you wish you would see back home in Orange County.
Yeah.
And, like I don't even know who's making like a heavy lager, tap list. Maybe Green Cheek.
Yeah.
Maybe Gamecraft.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, I don't even think that we're not as heavy as we used to be. But yeah, I'd like to see more of that. But like, it's just, there's always going to be someone that wants something that maybe you don't have.
Yeah. And I've been to Gamecraft once. I went to, as I used to play, not Dungeons and Dragons, but like just play board games and trivia and stuff like that. But I talked to he does their artwork. Kelly, I think his name is. But yeah, it's cool. It's a cool spot. But I mean, I lost my train of thought there for a second.
We were talking about lager lists.
There we go. Yeah, lager lists. I mean, it's just, it's harder to, I mean, when they have, like, and I go to a place and they have a ton, it's like, all right, just send them all this way.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can drink, I'll drink as many of them as I can, obviously, responsibly.
Sure, absolutely, of course.
Yeah. Well, I remember what I was going to say, too, because you mentioned that amber. I remember, and you mentioned earlier, too, about how when you had a Widmer, you're like, oh, yeah, this is like, the best. I thought that about Michelob Amberbach.
Dude, that was a great beer, man. Dude, if I see that on tap, I'll still order it.
Yeah, I do, but you never see it anywhere.
Dude, you know where it's at? I want to say the last time I had it was over at Cortina's Sandwich.
What's that?
It's a sandwich shop it's in Anaheim. There's one in Orange, but I think there's one it's the one in Anaheim is where I saw it on tap.
Okay, well, I might just go for the beer.
Dude, honestly, the sandwiches are amazing.
Are they?
Yeah,
all right,
they're
awesome.
pretty good.
But if I can have an Amberbach, I haven't had one since I was like
it's on tap
22,
there.
maybe.
I think it was about a year ago. Me and the guys here went over there for lunch, and they had it on tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, Amberbach. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, because it was just like, to me, it was like, oh, this is fancy. That was like that and like Pyramid Hef too, way back when.
Dude, yes.
But yeah, Pyramid, I thought it was like the fanciest guy ever.
Dude, I exactly remember I was saying, like, when I was I was 17, I was sitting at that bar drinking a Pyramid Hef and just thought I was so badass.
Oh, yeah.
In a big schooner, man, with a lemon.
Oh, yeah. It was like, one of those things that I think there's a picture of me. I think I was like 17.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thought I was such a badass at a party holding up a pyramid bottle.
Yeah.
And I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
oh, geez. I look like I was like 12, even though I was 17.
Yeah, dude. If you want, I can put the pigtail over on the amber tank, and we can have some of that.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to try some after this. Yeah.
Let's grab some of that.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll hit pause.
Okay, cool.
All right, and we're back. So we have the amber.
This is our Don Carlos, a Mexican style amber lager.
Love it.
Yeah, so
And that legit is amber.
That is amber, yes.
Yeah.
So we have our Mexican style lager on up front. It's called Carlos Danger.
Okay.
So this was a play on that, and they, like I said, this company that approached us wanted us to make them an amber lager. And,
Yeah.
And here it is. This is it. Don Carlos.
Cheers. And what's the ABV on this one?
This one is 4.7.
Okay.
Yeah. It's super, like most of our lagers are super drinkable.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you probably heard Morgan right now.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't really her. She was knocking over her, not knocking over her water bowl. Close enough.
She's fine.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty damn good.
It's really nice. It has like I was telling you earlier, it has like a lot of flavor on it, like a lot of complex malt. But like we were talking about, kind of toning it down a little bit, just based on like us having this at this other spot that we made, the people we made it for. I think that for their clientele, they kind of want it a little more. I hate to say dumbed down, but like just kind of like the flavor kind of muted a little more, like more of a traditional Mexican style amber lager.
Yeah.
Nothing with super big flavor on it. This has a lot of malt in it that we, a couple different specialty malts, some corn.
Okay.
We tried to make it like super traditional to style and not just color it up with malt, but we wanted some flavor in there. And but I don't think the big boys do it like that. The Modelo's and everyone else, they I think they just color it up and it's just a flavorless beer. But I love those beers though.
Yeah, and but honestly, you don't even see like ambers on menus either. So
no, I'm trying. I don't think I've had a maybe Gamecraft does one here and there, but I think maybe Green Cheek has one here and there too. But like you don't see it on the menu permanently.
No.
Yeah, it's just a seasonal, I guess. I don't know. We've had it on for a little while though.
Oh, I mean, you're doing a friggin' bang up job.
It's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it's easy drinking. I was gonna. I'll finish off that German Pilsner in a sec. I'm over here double fisting. So
I can always top you up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. I mean, because one thing I was like, I feel like in the, we talked about earlier, like how the, we have hazies. We, like there was a haze craze. It was like the summer. I was called the summer of seltzer, and like all that kind of stuff. Do you see something else kind of coming down the pipeline?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I can easily just say, oh, lagers are back, or they're coming back.
Yeah.
Or, hoppy pilsners, or whatever the trend is right now. But I think I'm only speaking for myself. Like I want lagers to be back. Craft lagers, that is, craft pilsners. But I don't know, man. I think the IPA train is here to stay, and that's fine. Yeah. That's totally fine. But I don't really know what's coming back or what's the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be nice to have that figured out. I think some brewers kind of have their pulse on that, or they're one step ahead, and that's great. But I don't know, man. If it's up to me, I would just continue to brew pilsners and lagers. That's just kind of what I want to make.
Yeah. Not
that I don't want to brew anything else. It's just I want to brew the beer that I want to drink.
Yeah, and you want to keep making it better.
Absolutely, yeah. But I don't know, man. What are you seeing out there? You're going to tap rooms all the time.
I mean, I think the biggest thing, the thing that I've seen the most of is kind of the people making like a blank seltzer or like a, plain Jane seltzer, and then like adding stuff to it later, but making like a craft kind of cocktail seltzer.
Oh, who has one of those is Bottle Logic.
Yeah, Bottle Logic's doing it.
Freaking delicious.
Yeah, Hamilton's doing it.
Oh, Hamilton's too?
Yeah, there's a ton of breweries that are doing it, and it's like I feel like everybody's kind of getting on that train now. But
the Bottle Logic one I had a few weeks ago was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
you should I know the brewer over there. You should contact him for your next show.
Oh, anybody from Bottle Logic, I'm in.
Yeah, I'll shoot you his contact info.
Sweet. Sam Morgan's. There we go. And we're back.
She's ready to take a run around the brewery.
Yeah, she probably is. Well, another one I always like to ask you, do you have any fun like taproom stories or Actually, let me do this one first. Like, what's your favorite thing to have with a beer? Like food wise, like wings, tacos, burgers.
I think with food, it's just going to be like food and beer for me. It's like if it's wings, it has to be like a super light beer.
Yeah, I think so too.
Anything like that, but like pizza, I could probably drink any beer with that. But for me, like spicy food is going to be like IPA or pale ale or steak. I need like if it's not a cocktail, it's going to be an IPA.
Yeah.
So
I know it's a loaded question.
No, it's like all over the map. Like you can. I don't know. Like typically at home, I'm just drinking like a light beer with dinner. If I'm drinking beer at all, I don't know. Like barbecuing, it's going to be something from here or something that someone gave me from a fellow brewery, whether it's IPA or whatever they give, pale ale, pilsner. But I don't know. Like if we're just talking specific food, like a steak, it's going to be an IPA.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Bringing out those flavors and stuff like that.
You got the fat cutting out the bitterness of the hops. It's so good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With like a chimichurri sauce. Oh my god.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you too? When it came to, are you a stout guy or
stouts? Oh yeah, I love stouts. Like I feel like those are some of my stronger like brewing skills is in stouts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've won numerous medals with my coffee stout.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love dry stout. It's probably one of my favorite styles of beer is dry stout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we typically have it on, but right now we're just not making it. We ended up making an Irish Red instead for St. Patty's, but
how was that?
The Irish Red's good. Yeah. I believe we have a little bit that's up front though. We'd have to grab it up front. But yeah, dry stout, oatmeal stout. And I love brewing stouts, but we don't get a lot of opportunity here.
Mm.
Just the coffee stout is usually the one that's always available.
Yeah. I think this Samuel Smith oatmeal stout was like one of the ones that really like got me into stouts.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. It was like that and like drinking Murphy's. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love a Guinness. I'll have a Guinness on St. Patty's Day. But Murphy's was like I always like that more that creamy kind of flavor you get from it. But yeah, Samuel Smith, their oatmeal stout was like that was
good.
Yeah, like I was like, man, when I first tried it was like, and then I think it was like that and like Young's double chocolate stout way back when.
Dude, back in the day, we used to when I was just coming out of high school, I think we would go to these parties and like right around the holidays, we would get one of those Young's double. Yeah. Does it double chocolate?
Yep.
And then we would get this Framois. I forget the name of the brand. It was like they had all these different flavors, like weird. I don't know what the fuck they were, but they were delicious. But you would pour like a shot of it into a glass.
Oh, really?
And it was like this raspberry chocolate stout. It was fucking delicious.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah, it was like a Framois like bottle. It was like this yellow and like label with like tan print. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like some stupid shit someone made up and it was delicious.
Yeah. But I remember drinking them, like being young and drinking them, like thinking like, oh, like this is like, that, but I mean, loving it. But like, and I'm sure I still would probably like it now. I just haven't had it in years, but we're growing up thinking like, well, look at me, look at me enjoying this, this thing. But it's like, oh geez, but when we're kids, right?
It's your journey into craft beer, man. Just trying something like that. I mean, there's probably so many beers like that you've tried along the way that you're probably like, oh, I would never drink that again. That was horrible. Like, what was that Mississippi Mud?
Oh, I was just going to say that. I was like, we're on the same like wavelength right now because I was literally just going to say
yes. Remember that? You bought that and you tried to enjoy it. It probably wasn't that good.
Yeah, and it came in that little jug.
The jug was rad.
Yeah, the jug was awesome. But it was just like, I remember my mom put that up as decoration in her bar.
It's definitely big decor for sure.
Yeah. And I remember, I think, because, I mean, even that stuff you couldn't really find everywhere. I think we found it at like, what's that? It's like a home store, but it's also like, they have like foreign chocolates and stuff like that. Called Cost Plus World Market.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
That's where we used to find the freaking Mississippi Mud.
Oh my gosh.
We would buy it by the case. We would buy cases of them. Yeah, me and my buddy, yeah. We would buy cases of them. Didn't have the money we had the money to do it then, but then like during the week we wouldn't have any more money. So we'd spend all our money on beer.
Funny. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't had that beer in years.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I remember I was living in Orange, and before Goose Island, their stout. What was that? What was in Bourbon County?
Oh yeah.
I remember just going into this liquor store on the corner right there off the freeway of LaSalle. I forget the name of the Quickie Mart or whatever it was, but they had bottles of these Bourbon Counties just sitting on the counter. And I always just looked at them like, all right, baby, maybe I'll buy one. And I kind of wasn't really didn't really know what those were about yet. I was into like big stouts, but I wasn't really familiar with Bourbon County yet. And then finally I was at someone's party and they're like, oh my gosh, these are delicious. And I drank one and I ended up going like the next day over there and I bought like 4 of them. It was like, I don't know, like 30, 40 bucks. It was like super cheap back then. But yeah, and I sat on those for like years.
Yeah.
I was like, these are so great. We got to age them. And
yeah.
But, and then like I look back and I was like, man, who the fuck wants to drink that?
But you imagine like what those bottles like after, I mean, what they would cost now if they, because it'd probably be like, because what it was 30, 40 bucks for what, 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah,
now
it was
probably
like
be like
really
$120 for 4 bottles.
I mean,
probably.
I don't know. Do people still collect those?
I don't know. But you know what? I feel like even with the stout releases, I mean, because I like stouts, like said before, but I don't drink them like, especially like the barrel aged stuff. Like I will share that. Like I'll share a bottle with somebody, but I can't drink a whole one by myself.
No way. Not the big 22s or what are they, 750s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do it. But like you can share it with your buddies. I mean, and then I'm like, all right, back to the light stuff.
Yeah, just for me, it's like just drinkability and cracking a big bottle like that. Just nah, I'm not doing. Even with a bunch of friends, maybe, but like I only want like a few ounces of it at the most.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know who's making big beers like that these days.
The
brewery's still doing it.
Yeah,
obviously,
the brewery still does it. I mean, and every time they do a special release, it sells out. Like I feel like every time.
Good for them. Yeah, that's great.
But I mean, it's like it's crazy, like how like the stout community. I feel like anytime that there's a special release, they may not drink them right away, but they may let them age for a bit.
Bottle Logic still has those kind of releases too.
Oh, they definitely. Yeah. And it's just crazy because I feel like, man, like I couldn't do like people will go buy 3 or 4 bottles. Like, how long is that going to last you? But I mean, I can't drink like that anymore. I mean, I used to be able to like enjoy those, but not anymore. Yeah. I'm with you when it comes to the dry stouts and stuff like that. Those are.
Yeah. Like if in my fridge, if we were at my house, you would see at least Guinness, always have Guinness, whatever macro beer of the week I want. Like I'll have a Pacifico or I'll have some of our beer.
Yeah.
And that's it. Maybe like a Allagash White.
Oh, geez. I haven't heard of having an Allagash in a long time.
Yeah. So like, I mean, for sure I have Guinness all the time. Like it's just such a great beer to have. It's an easy drinker. And I laugh when just people are like, oh, this is just so heavy. I can't drink it.
Yeah.
I think it's the thinnest beer on the shelf.
Yeah. I don't get that whole thing because it's just because it's black. Like, I mean, it's so dark. You can't like, people think it's like you're drinking motor oil.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, it goes down easy. Like I used to drink Guinness during the summer and people are like, you're gross. I'm like, what? It's cold. Like, what's the problem?
It's a great beer. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. But man, I wanted to say just, thank you for letting me come over and
dude, anytime you can come back and do this anytime, man.
Yeah. It's super fun for me. Like honestly, I just love hearing people's stories and like, hearing people's journey and like, doing like to get to where you wanted to be. And even you, like, you said leaving your other job because of the economy and stuff like that and betting on yourself.
Yeah. Well, I have kids now, so like rolling the dice at this point is going to be very calculated.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's very calculated now. So no, I don't know, man. That was exciting times. Like I don't regret any of it for sure. Like I went from a very nice career to making beer, which, everyone knows that brewers don't make the best money, but it's a passion and there's a reason why I still do it. You know?
You do it because you love it.
Yep. That's that. Yeah. That's that. I can't add any more to that. That's exactly why.
Yeah.
Even when it's bad, it's still good,
Yeah. I mean, it's because they always say it's like what brewing's like, 90% cleaning and 10%, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do it because how much you care and how much you love it. And to me, there's nothing more gratifying in life than that. Like being able to like for me, this is like therapy for me. Like I
Yeah.
get to sit down and talk to someone that truly cares about what they do. And I just hope that this motivates one person to get out there and if they want to try brewing or home brewing or anything like that, maybe, I mean, if they can hear your success story or somebody else's success story, like,
I think that
Yeah.
most homebrewers that want to be a professional, they're gonna find that it's the same story as theirs. They're gonna realize, oh yes, this guy did it the same. He was a homebrewer as well. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I was a shitty homebrewer, so going from that to this, it's like who the fuck would have thought that was the right career path? You
Yeah.
know, but it was like I was just the passion of just figuring it out, and it's still even to this day. It's like whatever something new comes out, like a new product or some new hops or whatever it may be. It's like, okay, let's try to figure this out. And that's when I just kind of put my head down and I'll read about it. I'll listen to podcasts. I'll go talk to brewers that maybe use a certain technique or product that I've never used before. And I'll just try to get to figuring out how to do it, you know, and then come back here and then just take a shot at it, you know. It's everybody's like, you should do a pilot batch, but it's like, let's just fucking shoot from the hip
Yeah.
and let's do it. Like,
Go balls to the wall.
honestly, that's kind of how I've always just done something new. You just shoot from the hip and go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you have to do as a home brewer too. It's the same thing, you know. You're making these batches at home, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Don't even stress about it.
Yeah. I'm going to quote Independence Day when he says, Harry Connick Jr. tells Will Smith, let's kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I quote movies all the time on the show.
Yeah, that's kind of like the guys around here. They like to quote movies too.
Love it. Do you have a favorite movie? We'll finish up with that.
Yeah, I have a few favorite movies. I like
What about your top 5?
Mystic River,
Oh, classic.
Swingers,
Oh, banger.
Office Space.
My little boy all grows up.
You can't even leave out Tombstone.
Oh, banger. Yeah.
God, and the fifth one, I don't know.
I know it's a loaded question.
Next time I see you, I'll tell you the fifth one. I got to think about the fifth one.
Okay.
Yeah, but those are like, if I'm going to quote movies, it's going to be those for sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, it's just such an odd group of movies, but I how do you not like Tombstone? Holy crap.
Tombstone, phenomenal. Swingers. I mean, all the ones you mentioned are great. Swingers, that used to be, that and Good Will Hunting used to be like my Sunday movie. Just
It's a great movie too.
I'm going to go get some tacos, or I'm going to go get something for a breakfast burrito, or make myself breakfast. I'm going to put on Swingers, enjoy the morning.
Yeah.
And then start my day.
Maybe my fifth one is, it's going to be tied. It's going to be Godfather 1 and 2.
Oh, it's so good.
I think I hit the spectrum of all styles of movies with the top 5.
Oh yeah. No, those are great.
I think I hit it all.
I said that was my last question, but since you mentioned The Godfather, did you ever watch The Offer on Paramount Plus?
I started watching it. Yeah, I started watching it, and for some reason, maybe I'm blaming my wife, but maybe she kind of didn't get into it, and we kind of just stopped watching it. It was like, I think we watched a little bit of it and maybe 30 minutes of it, and then that was that. I don't know why we stopped. Do I got to turn it back on?
It's honestly really good.
Okay.
Like, cause I love both of those movies, and
sounds like I got to check it out again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely got to do it.
I've jumped off of a few series like that where it's like, I should have finished and I never did, but yeah, that was one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Love it. Well, man, like I said, thank you again for having me come down here.
Yeah, man.
So if you guys want to come down to Bearded Tang, you want to come hang out and have a few beers, enjoy some of the phenomenal beers that I got to have today. It is off of, I forgot the street name.
We're off of the 22 freeway at Beach. It's just north of Garden Grove Boulevard on the corner right there.
And it's called the Public Market.
It's called Rodeo 39 Public Market.
Love it.
Yeah, we're all the way in the back. You can even park in the back and walk through the back to get to the brewery.
Yep. Now Morgan, she came through the back.
She's finally taking a nap.
Yeah, she's knocked out. So, man, like I said, thank you again. This has been super fun.
Dude, anytime you want to come by and do this again.
Oh, I'm totally up for it.
We're actually, I actually host like these brewer hangs once in a while back here. I invite all my brewery friends, and we just
bring so many mics.
If you want to just post up and just do a little show,
a round table, yeah,
and you can just have a bunch of brewers sit down and talk shop with you.
Yeah, let's do that. And like, we can, like, everybody brings one of their own beers or two of their own beers.
That's what we do, man. We do that about twice a year.
Okay. I'm actually going to be doing that like a female. Off air, we talked about Danny Lopez from
or
Angry Horse.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a female brewer roundtable with Danny from Angry Horse, Adrian Hodat from, she's now at ISM.
Okay.
And then, Bridget from Unsum.
Oh, very cool. All right. Yeah.
So I'm going to do a female brewer roundtable. I'm trying to get an OC brewers roundtable. So if you're up for that too.
Yeah, dude. Anytime you want to do it, like this, as long as it, like I can.
Oh yeah, and what I'll do is I'll get a thread going like a month before, just so we can make sure everybody's on date works and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'll keep you posted on our little brewers thing. We usually do it right before competition, like big competitions.
Okay,
we'll do like a brewers hang, and everyone will kind of bring their entries and let each other try them. But like, dude, if you want to like just come and hang, you can even broadcast, or you can just post up and drink, man.
Yeah, no, I'll bring everything. I'll bring so many mics.
Dude, people will fucking be stoked on it. We get pretty good on drinking around here.
I love it.
Goes, yeah.
We
usually start at like 3, and we shut it down at like maybe 7, and then we either go to the bar or we go to another.
Okay.
Obviously with designated driving, of course.
Oh yeah, of course. You got to drink. Drinking, don't drink and drive. Be responsible.
Absolutely.
We don't condone drinking and driving on the Taproom Podcast.
Not at all.
That's just a little disclosure. Oh, but man, like I said, thank you again. This has been so fun.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll grab one more beer, but I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I think we have time for one more.
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Cheers, Tap Fam.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I said, it was a great time with Jared, being able to, hear his story. And also got some other stuff coming up. So the next coming episodes, one will be with Andrea. She's a cellarman, but on her way to becoming a brewer over at Homage Brewing in Pomona. The audiograph episode will be out soon, and then also the Comics and Brews episode was a really fun one with Taz. He was a really good dude. So that one was really fun. That one was like all wheelhouse for me. So yeah, I got that coming up. I'll be at Pro 5 next week. It's Memorial Day weekend. I got a long weekend, so I'm excited. I got Friday off and only half day Thursday, so that should be pretty sweet. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's all I got, and then I'll keep you guys posted. I think might be recording on the weekend of the 1st with Danny from Tustin Brewing. So that should be pretty good. All right. Well, I will keep you guys posted, but I hope you guys enjoy your week. I got to go drink some beer. What do you got to do? Got to do it for the show. Think I drink all this beer for me? No, come on, do it for you guys. All right. Take care, Tap Fam. Enjoy your week.